going on, Falcon fan? This boy Ricondo come back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about the quarterbacks in the NFC South. So guys, before we get into that video, if you had not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So the question is, who's the best quarterback in the NFC South? Okay, just joking. We know. It's Tom Brady. He's the best quarterback in NFC South. We already know that. Actually saw this on Twitter today. I thought it was interesting to come on here and talk about. Because after Tom Brady, I think it's actually a debate. That's my personal opinion. I don't think it's a clear number two best quarterback in the NFC South after Tom Brady. He's, of course, number one. He's the GOAT, 7 Super Bowls. Um, so, of course, Tom Brady's number one. But when we talk about um, the next, the next on the list, 2, 3, and 4, um, I think it's a debate, and I think that's why I'm on here. We can have a debate. Of course, I am a Falcons fan, so I can be biased. That's okay because that's as a fan, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be biased. So, um, in my opinion, it's definitely a debate between Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. They was drafted in the same year, 2015. Of course, we knew these guys were going to be linked for the rest of their career. Who was going to have a better career? So far, um, in my opinion, um, I think it's a toss up between those two. Jameis Winston record is 33-44. Marcus Mariota record is 29-32 as starter. Um, One thing that Marcus Mariota do have on Jameis Winston, he has won 3 playoff games, so he have that experience in high pressure moments in NFL in playoff, and he has delivered 3 times. So that says a lot about Marcus Mariota. So let's talk about the other 2 quarterbacks that is in question in the NFC South, and they both for the Carolina Panthers. As we all know, Baker Mayfield was actually traded for the Carolina Panthers the other day. So it's going to be another quarterback competition, just like in Atlanta, between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. These 2 guys was actually drafted in the same draft. Baker Mayfield, number 1 overall. I think Sam Darnold went 3rd overall to the New York Jets. So the question is, um, who's number 2, who's number 3, and who's number 4? That's the question. So for me, when I look at the quarterbacks, I always look at 4 things when I look at a quarterback. I look at the quarterback situation, the roster they got surrounded them. I look at the overall talent of the quarterback. Um, the is he talented enough to actually be a franchise quarterback? The coaching, I think the coaching just plays a big role into how the quarterback is going to fare. You can have a good quarterback, but if you get bad coaching, and you can see it really doesn't pan out for that guy. And then the next thing for me is the experience. I think the more experience you get as a starter in the NFL at quarterback position, the better you'll be, because that means you've seen more. Of defenses and seeing what they're trying to do to stop you to be successful. So I think the experience is definitely something that's beneficial for any quarterback. So those are 4 things what I think about when I think about a franchise quarterback, and the intangibles and things like that, the other things that people see, the stats that other people talk about. But those are 4 things that I think about. That's my opinion. That's what I like. So we're looking at the who has the best roster situation. Aside from Tom Brady, of course. Um, Probably, in my opinion, I think it's a toss up between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. We can look at the Saints. They have more continuity than the Atlanta Falcons, so I guess I would give them the upper leg on that because of their continuity. Most of their guys are returning. They've been playing together for a while. Um, their new head coach, Dennis Allen, been there a while, so they have that continuity as a roster, and they play well in NFC South. They play very well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the New Orleans Saints, for Jameis Winston, he might have the better roster situation at this point. I think it's close with the Atlanta Falcons. It's just my opinion, but Jameis Winston probably has the the upper hand in the roster situation. So um, that's what I think about that. The Carolina Panthers, I think they have a worse roster than the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. So, far as the quarterback going in, it's going to be tough for them to actually be able to be successful because of the way their rosters are built right now. So, um, Panthers is going to be last when we talk about the roster situation. The next thing is the talent. Who has the overall talent? I really believe that Jameis Winston probably has the most talent. This guy can make all the throws. Um, he throws good anticipation. Um, that's why he was drafted number one overall. Jameis Winston probably has the most talent out of all these guys, but doesn't mean that because of the way he plays, the gunslinger mentality. We can't forget that he called Mr. 30 for 30 because in 2019 he threw 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, and he had 12 fumbles in that year. And his last throw with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that year was a pick six to Mr. Deion Jones. So, um, even though Jameis Winston might have be the most talented guy out of these four quarterbacks that we're talking about, um, I think he has the more wild card factor that could actually hinder him to actually being the best version of himself because he has that gunslinger mentality. Of course, I think Marcus Mariota is the next talented out of these other two guys. Um, Guy that won the Heisman Trophy in college. He has all the athletic ability. The knock is on him that he just needs to stay healthy, and I think he do that. And so I'm looking at Marcus Mariota right close second behind Jameis Winston as the most talented guy. Um, so that's where I'm gonna stand with that. Um, Next thing we're gonna talk about coaching. So we go to the coaching aspect. Um, this is interesting because we all know that um, Sean Payton is gone. He's not there anymore. And we talked about Jameis Winston and his wild card factor, how he actually um, is unpredictable. We always think he's going to give us one. Well, Sean Payton actually looked like he had took control of that for a little spell last year because Jameis Winston had thrown 14 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. However, Coach Payton is no longer there, so it's going to be a question to see if the new coach that's going to be calling the plays for Jameis Winston, if he's going to be able to still um, bring James Winston in and make sure that he doesn't um, go back to his old ways and start to throw the ball up in the air for everybody to catch. So we'll just have to see. Now Arthur Smith, I love the way Arthur Smith and Marcus Mariota dynamic is because they already have um, a relationship with one another because they already played. So Marcus Mariota knows Arthur Smith. He played with him. He's with him his entire career when he's with the Tennessee Titans. Of course, his last year there, he was the offensive coordinator for Marcus Mariota. We all know it didn't go well because he got benched. However, he does understand Arthur Smith. He understands what he's asking, and I think Arthur Smith being the head coach now can actually work better with Marcus Mariota to actually make this offense more tailored to what Marcus' strengths are than maybe it was before. That was Arthur Smith's first season as a offensive coordinator. So he could have been a little green himself. Now he's going into the third season calling plays, and I think that's going to benefit both Marcus Mariota and Arthur Smith. From the Carolina Panthers standpoint, um, Matt Rule was a great coach in college, but it has not seemed to be the case so far with the Carolina Panthers. Um, so I think out of the coaching situation, believe it or not, I think the most stable situation is to me is the Atlanta Falcons situation because of the relationship um, between Marcus Mariota and Arthur Smith, and the fact that Dennis Allen is the new head coach for the Saints and Sean Payton is gone. So I'm gonna get the upper hand for that to the Atlanta Falcons. So for the roster, we're gonna go to the Saints for the talent. I guess we'll go to the Saints QB. Then the coaching standpoint, we're gonna go to the Atlanta Falcons, and then the last thing but not least, it's the experience for the quarterbacks, and I'm going to give that to Marcus Mariota because of his experience as actually being and playing the high leverage games. Like I said, he has won 3 playoff games. That means a lot because I mean when the pressure is on, he's out there. He was able to um, be able to complete plays, being able to complete passes, be able to win games. 3 playoff wins. I'm giving that experience to Marcus Mariota. James Winston has never played in a playoff game. Um, he had played a lot of games. He actually played more regular season games than Marcus Mariota, but not being able to be in those high pressure moments. We don't know how he would react in that. We already know he's, like I said, he's a gunslinger. He might have that mentality that I gotta make a play, and we have seen when he tried to do that, it doesn't go well for him. So I'm gonna give the experience to Marcus Mariota. Once again, the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield played in 1 playoff game. Sarah Darnold just really haven't had a good career so far. So I'm giving upper hand to the Atlanta Falcons quarterback on that. So looking at the score um, from the quarterbacks, it's 2-2 for the quarterback position. So I guess it's up for me to break the tie. And since I am a Atlanta Falcons fan, I'm gonna give the tie break to the Atlanta Falcons. Um, Surprise, surprise, right? Um, First of all, I would never pick a Saint player over the Atlanta Falcons. I just couldn't find it in my heart to do so. So um, you can go ahead and forgive me for being biased on that because I just won't pick a Saint. That's what it the way it is. So but in real and just being for real about the whole situation, I just think James Winston has shown us that um, he's a gunslinger. I know it seemed like he's going to be a different guy. He's going to go out and try not to win games and not be reckless with the ball. But I think the fact that Sean Payton is not there anymore, I think he might revert back to his old ways. And I'm still believing that James Winston is going to probably try one of our secondary players this year and go deep and get start the turnover machine all over again. So that's just my opinion. Um, We have to see. That's why we play these games. That's why we play it out. We can actually see at the end of the year who's right, who was wrong. Of course, a lot of different factors play into all these situations. Who got hurt, who got injured, right? So we can definitely be able to at the end of the year see how right I was about this take that I'm having right now about Marcus Mariota being the second best quarterback in this division, Jameis Winston being third. Then, however you want to slice it, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield being fourth. Um, I know that a lot of people has um, Tom Brady, Jameis Winston, Baker Mayfield, and then Marcus Mariota being that last guy, and that's good. Have your opinion. We're going to be able to show this year to see how these guys fall out at the end of the season. But I just think Marcus Mariota got something to prove this year. People can say the same thing about James Winston. They can say the same thing about Baker Mayfield, right? But I think if you factor in those four different categories, the roster situation, the talent of the individual, the coaching aspect, and then the experience. I think those four things going to actually play into the factor of how well these guys going to do this year. So, guys, let me know what you think about the quarterback situations. What is your list? Um, you don't have to be a homer like me and make Marcus Mariota the number two guy. That's just me being a homer. I admit that, but I can back it up. Like I said, with just looking at some of the statistics and some of the things that he has done in his career, especially like I said, and in playoff experience he has. Um, Not turning the ball over 91 times. James Winston got 91 interceptions and been in the league for since 2015. So that's a lot. So um, I have my reasons why that my list the way it is. Um, I don't believe in the Carolina Panthers. So I don't believe whatever quarterback they start there, they're going to be good this year. So that's my list. You let me know what you think. We didn't even talk about Tom Brady because I guess we don't really need to. I don't want to anyway. So, but of course he's number one. Marcus Mariota is number two. Um, James Winston's number three. And then, like I said, either way you want to put it, Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield is number four. Did not talk about Desmond Ridder. And the only reason why, because I think Desmond Ridder is not going to start this year. He might get a chance to get on the field, but at this point, I think Marcus Mariota has the upper hand. So, guys, let me know what you think about my list. Um, I'm really definitely can't wait to hear from you guys. And this is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.